The 2016 black BMW X5 rolled into Leo's auto repair at 6:47 p.m., dust swirling in the Arizona heat. Just another car. Just another customer. Until Leo Martinez popped the trunk. Inside, 6 duffel bags stacked tight, each filled with vacuum-sealed bricks of cash. Hundreds. 50s. More money than he'd ever seen in his life. No cameras, no witnesses. Just a car full of $25 million and a mechanic who saw a once-in-a-lifetime chance. But this wasn't luck. It was a mistake on someone else's part, and he knew it the second he saw the license plate. Before I walk you through the full story, I just have a small favor to ask. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments what city are you watching from. It's always amazing to see how far this audience is reaching. Now, let's get back to the story. Leo Martinez had been fixing cars for 15 years, ever since dropping out of high school to support his mother. 39 years old, raised in Tempe's rough neighborhoods, never went to college but sharp enough to rebuild transmissions blindfolded. His garage sat on the edge of town where rent was cheap and questions were few. He worked 60-hour weeks just to keep the lights on. Property taxes, insurance, equipment loans, always something eating into razor-thin margins. His regulars loved. The BMW had been dropped off 10 minutes before closing time on a Tuesday evening. No appointment scheduled, no name given in advance. Just a man in an expensive suit walking into the garage with car keys and a story that didn't quite add up. Trunk won't open, the man had said, his voice carrying a slight accent Leo couldn't place. Clean-shaven, designer clothes, nervous eyes that kept scanning the garage like he was memorizing exits. Don't force it. Just check the engine. Maybe the electrical system. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon. The man had paid in cash unusual but not unheard of. $300 for a diagnostic that should have cost $150. Leo had nodded and taken the money without asking why someone would overpay for basic automotive work. What's your name for the work order? Leo had asked, pen hovering over his clipboard. Smith, the man said quickly. John Smith. Of course it was. Leo had written it down anyway. Standard procedure. Customers often had their reasons for being vague, and in his line of work, those reasons were usually none of his business. But overnight, the electronic trunk latch shorted out a common problem with BMWs exposed to Arizona's extreme heat cycles. The electronic systems in German luxury cars weren't designed for 115-degree summers followed by 50-degree winter nights. Leo needed to access the spare tire area to check for fluid leaks that might be causing electrical problems. He forced it open with a crowbar at 7:30 the next morning, standard routine he'd performed hundreds of times. And what spilled out made him stop breathing for a second. Leo stared at the money for 3 full minutes before touching anything. His hands shook as he lifted one bundle, feeling the weight, the texture, the unmistakable feel of real currency. Not hundreds of bills, but thousands. Sequential hundreds bound with federal bank straps, each bundle containing exactly $10,000. He counted 6 duffel bags. Quick mental math told him he was looking at more money than his garage would make in 20 years. But this wasn't lottery money or inheritance cash. This had the organized, systematic packaging of institutional money movement. And something about the nervous man in the expensive suit suddenly made a lot more sense. Leo's hands were steady now as he loaded one duffel bag into his pickup truck. Just one. Just enough to confirm what he was seeing and decide what to do about it. At home in his small apartment above Maria's Cantina, he spread the cash across his kitchen table. Used a blacklight pen he kept for checking bill authenticity, a skill learned from years of accepting cash payments from customers who sometimes paid with questionable currency. Examined bill markings with a magnifying glass. Scanned every bundle for tracking devices with a metal detector he normally used for electronics repair. The money was authentic. Federal Reserve notes, proper security strips, correct watermarks. But each bundle bore small, stamped purple ink symbols he recognized from news reports about cartel seizures. This wasn't bank money or business revenue. This was drug money, which meant calling the police would be signing his own death warrant. Men who moved this kind of cash didn't file insurance claims or work through legal channels when things went missing. By morning, staring at $200,000 spread across his table while coffee grew cold in his cup, Leo had made a decision that would change his life forever. Take it all. Disappear completely. He knew they'd come back for the car, but they didn't know what he'd already moved. Leo worked through the night with the methodical precision that came from 15 years of automotive problem solving. He knew cars inside and out. More importantly, he knew how to hide things in cars in ways that would fool anyone except another experienced mechanic. First priority, the BMW itself. He drained the gas tank completely and disassembled the fuel system. Modern cars had large, oddly shaped gas tanks with plenty of dead space. Leo sealed 4 duffel bags in heavy-duty marine plastic, the kind used for boat engine covers, and fitted them into the tank's hollow sections. To anyone checking, it would look like a normal fuel tank. The car would even run normally. He'd left enough space for 5 gallons of gas. Next, he turned to his salvage yard. 3 junk cars sat in the back of his lot. A 1998 Honda Civic with a blown engine, a 2003 Ford Explorer with transmission problems, and a rusted Chevy pickup that hadn't run in years. Perfect camouflage. Leo removed the engine blocks from all 3 vehicle shard, dirty work that took 6 hours with a hydraulic lift. He hollowed out the engine compartments and stuffed them with money bundles, then reassembled everything to look exactly like it had before. Anyone walking through his lot would see 3 broken-down vehicles not worth stealing. The remaining bags went into more creative hiding spots. Inside spare tires, welded into false panels under truck beds, sealed in oil pans that would never be opened. By dawn, $25 million had vanished into metal and machinery that looked like worthless scrap. But Leo wasn't finished. He reassembled the BMW perfectly, leaving decoy bags in the Trun newspaper bundles wrapped in plastic bags, weighted with metal plates to match the exact heft of cash bundles. From a distance, in dim light, they'd fool anyone who wasn't expecting deception. At dawn, Leo staged the most important performance of his life. He smashed his own office window with a tire iron, scattered papers across the floor, overturned file cabinets, made it look like someone had been searching for something specific. At 6:43 a.m., he called the Tempe Police Department. Leo's Auto Repair, he told the dispatcher, breathing hard like he'd just discovered the damage. Someone broke into my garage last night, multiple vehicles damaged. Looks like they were searching for something. Officer Martinez, no relation, despite the shared surname, arrived 20 minutes later. Young cop, probably fresh out of the academy, eager to write thorough reports. Perfect. What do you think they were looking for? Officer Martinez asked, surveying the stage damage. No idea, Leo replied. I don't keep cash here. Don't have anything worth stealing except tools. The officer filed a routine report. Burglary, criminal mischief. No items reported stolen because officially nothing was missing. They watched the wrong security tape. Leo had already erased the good one. The BMW owner returned at 1:15 p.m., exactly 24 hours after dropping it off. Same expensive suit, but now his eyes carried a different kind of nervousness. Where's my car? Leo played confused. Sir, I have no record of you bringing in a vehicle. The man's face darkened. Don't play games with me. Black BMW, Arizona plates. You worked on the trunk. Leo showed him the police report. Sir, we had a break-in last night. Multiple vehicles were damaged. If you brought a car here, you need to file a police report. The threat was clear in the man's voice. I was never here. You never saw me. And if anything's missing from that car, I don't know what you're talking about, Leo said calmly. But the police report's on file if you want to reference it. The man left without another word. 2 hours later, a black SUV started circling the block. Leo watched from his office window as it made the same loop 6 times. He knew the clock was ticking. That night, Leo executed the final phase of his plan. The cash-filled cars were already prepared and positioned. He worked in darkness, using only a small flashlight to avoid attracting attention from the few neighbors who might still be awake. The Honda Civic went first. Leo hitched it to a rental car trailer he'd picked up that afternoon, paying cash and using fake identification he'd purchased years earlier during his street racing days when having a clean backup identity was useful for avoiding police attention at illegal races. He drove 3 hours to Phoenix, to a storage facility in an industrial area where surveillance was minimal and questions were non-existent. Unit 247, rented under the name Roberto Silva, paid for 12 months in advance. He unloaded the car, locked the unit, and hid the key in a magnetic box under the Interstate 10 overpass near 43rd Avenue. The Ford Explorer required a flatbed truck, which Leo had arranged through a friend who ran a towing service. $200 cash, no paperwork, just a favor between guys who'd known each other since high school. The Explorer went to Tucson, to Unit 891 at a storage facility near the airport. Key hidden under the Speedway Boulevard Bridge. The Chevy pickup was the simplest. Leo drove it himself to Las Cruces, New Mexico. Unit 156 had a facility that specialized in storing RVs and boats, where one more old pickup truck wouldn't attract any attention. Key hidden under the I-25 overpass near University Avenue. Each unit rented under a different fake name, each paid for in cash, each location more than 2 hours from the others. Leo had learned about compartmentalization from a customer who'd run drugs between Phoenix and Los Angeles. Never keep everything in one place. Never trust anyone with the whole picture. Always have multiple escape routes. On the 2nd of March, Leo made his final preparations. He contacted Rico Mendoza, an old friend from his street racing days, who'd moved to Mexico after some legal troubles involving stolen car parts. Rico owed Leo significant favors from when Leo had kept his mouth shut during a police investigation that could have implicated both of them. "I need a ride south," Leo told him during a brief phone call from a payphone outside a gas station. "One-way trip, cash payment, no questions." Rico asked no questions. That's why Leo had chosen him. That evening, Leo locked his garage for the last time. He'd already transferred ownership of the business to his landlord in lieu of back rent paperwork that would take weeks to process and wouldn't raise immediate red flags. Security footage from the parking lot shows him leaving at 11:47 p.m. with a single duffel bag containing his personal belongings and enough cash for the journey south. Gone. No note, no forwarding address, no goodbye to anyone. Just gone. The police investigated Leo's disappearance after his landlord reported the garage abandoned. No rent payments, no contact. Tools and equipment left behind. The break-in report suddenly seemed suspicious. Officers reviewed security footage but found nothing useful. The cameras had malfunctioned during the critical time frame. The BMW was discovered 3 days later, abandoned on Highway 85, 40 miles outside Phoenix. Completely empty. No fingerprints, no VIN numbers, wiped clean with industrial solvent. Leo's bank accounts remained untouched. His credit cards showed no activity. His phone went straight to voicemail until the service was disconnected for non-payment. The garage was repossessed after 90 days. The IRS flagged years of underreported income, but the trail led nowhere. No family came looking. No friends filed missing person reports. Leo Martinez had simply vanished. The FBI took over the case after the DEA's Drug Task Force identified the BMW's previous locations. The car had been spotted at known trafficking routes near Tucson, photographed by automatic license plate readers. Special Agent Maria Santos flew in from the Phoenix field office. She'd been tracking cartel money movements for 6 years and recognized the pattern immediately. "This wasn't a planned intercept," she wrote in her initial report. "Subject took advantage of accidental exposure, opportunistic theft by local asset with mechanical knowledge." The FBI issued a quiet reward, $100,000 for information leading to Leo's arrest or the recovery of the money, posted in auto shops, racing forums, and Mexican border towns. No responses. No credible sightings. No financial activity. Leo Martinez had disappeared as completely as if he'd never existed. The case file grew thin. Security footage showed nothing. Bank records revealed nothing. Phone records led nowhere. One mechanic, one moment. $25 million gone. Agent Santos closed the file 18 months later. Case status: suspended pending new evidence. Leo Martinez never resurfaced anywhere law enforcement could track. No social media activity, no job applications, no hospital records, no arrest records in any system. The storage units were never found. The money was never recovered. Rumors circulated in automotive circles. Some said Leo had opened a custom shop in Belize, building race cars for wealthy clients. Others whispered he'd been killed by the people he stole from, buried somewhere in the Sonoran Desert. But nobody ever turned up. And the $25 million? Still missing. The last confirmed sighting was security camera footage from a gas station near the Mexican border. A man matching Leo's description, filling up a pickup truck, paying cash, avoiding the camera's direct view. The 3rd of March, 2:17 a.m., then nothing. Leo Martinez had pulled off the perfect disappearing act. One mistake by someone else had become his golden ticket out of a life of 60-hour weeks and mounting debt. Sometimes the mechanic fixes the car. Sometimes the car fixes the mechanic.